Hello and welcome to this knife review. I have before you the Böker Plus Titan drop point. It's a very popular knife. I think Mr. Nut and Fancy has done a video on it, and yeah, he's got an awful lot of views, and for good reason too. It's a jolly good knife. So we'll start off with some specifications, get them out the way first. The overall length of this knife is 8.3 inches or 21.2 centimeters. That's open. The blade length is 3.8 inches or 9.6 centimeters, and the cutting edge is 3.4 inches or 8.6 centimeters. And the weight is 4.1 ounces or 118.4 grams. Okay, so with those out of the way, let's just talk a little bit about the features. Now, this knife is made by Böker Plus. I still think that the Böker Plus range is made in China, but just don't quote me on that. Go on the website, find out. Okay, so the handle scales, as you can see, are very nice titanium. They look very similar to the Spyderco Sage 2, I think it is. Handle scales, kind of like a matte finish. It's difficult to pick this up, really. But they are stunning, very, very mysterious looking, I'd say. So they're the handle scales. I'm not sure if it really changes the weight. I think it does, but it feels solid. So that's the handle scales. Grippiness, even though it's all titanium, it does have some grip. But there we go. The pocket clip is it is reversible, okay, but it's tip up carry only, okay. So left or right side carry, I suppose. It's nice and polished, okay, and it does ride quite deep in the pocket for such a large knife anyway. And I would classify this as a large knife because the cutting edge is nearly 3.5 inches, you see. So the deployment of this knife, it has dual thumb studs, okay, and is quite stiff to kind of deploy. You're not going to be whipping this out very quickly, but that's mainly because of the locking mechanism. The locking mechanism, it is a lock back or back lock, whichever you prefer, and hence why it's quite stiff to initially open to get past the spring there, and then it gets easier towards the actual lock. Okay, the ergonomics is very nice. You have to kind of like hold one of these to appreciate it, I suppose. It looks thin, I have to agree there, but not too thin. I think it's just right in width to be comfortable, okay? And the ergonomics, as you can see, the shape of that handle, very well designed. However, where your thumb sits so perfectly on that spine. I'm just wishing that that there was jimping or some kind of grip there, because your thumb just kind of slides off it. But that's a very small moot point, I suppose you could call it. Okay, so moving on with my recommendation there, I do wish that Böker made a sister knife of this, kind of like a tactical version, or more of a utilitarian version. I'm not sure. If they made this knife with a tanto blade shape, with jimping and different handle scales, maybe even different steel, I think that would sell bucket loads also. But there we go, because it's such a comfortable, well-designed knife that, and yeah. You get where I'm going with this. It's excellent for piercing power if it had a different blade shape. I'm not taking anything away from this knife, but come on, Böker, build on this. It's an excellent design knife. Step up your game for a sister one version. Okay, so as I said, if they did make one, please do it in S30V or VG10 or even your N690. Okay, because that would, yes, it would raise the price, but also I think that would sell, like I've just mentioned. Now, size-wise, we will compare this to the Böker XS it's only fair we compare it to another Böker. As you can see, it kind of dwarfs it. Okay, so it just shows you how much of a large knife. I think some pictures show it. You know, it's larger than it looks. You see, it's larger in person. Okay, because the Böker S isn't exactly small. Okay, so that's the Böker XS comparison. Of course, we'll compare it to the Spyderco Tenacious. Again, longer, okay, thinner, and the Spyderco UK PK. Again, just gives you some idea, okay. So we'll move them out the way. I actually think, personally, that it resembles a lot like a Spyderco Endura. Okay, I mean, look, very similar handle sizes, very similar blade and cutting edge sizes. If anything, I'd say it's kind of Böker's own Endura, really, because it's just long enough to be classed in the same kind of length area as an Endura. Okay, so come on, build on that. It's an excellent knife. Okay, so the price of one of these will set you back. How much do you think? I'd pay £60 for this, but this, for the size of it and the titanium scales, is £44. Yeah, I couldn't believe it myself. The steel is the 440C, so they could improve on that, probably use a better steel, but that's still an excellent steel anyway. Okay, but £44, you're getting titanium scales, 44C steel, a comfortable scale shape, knife shape, and I think that's extremely good value for money. So they really need to build on that. Okay, so that's my review. Quality control issues. Just a very quick note. I will say that does grind a little bit, and I think that's against the titanium scales. As you can see, there's you might be able to see there's like a little bit of oil or something that rises up from you pushing that. Can you hear that? Exactly. A little bit of oil rising up. That might be their quality control. They don't want it to rust or whatever, so they put more than what is needed, which is surplus, I suppose, oil in that area to stop it from rusting in transit or whatnot. But I've tried for a couple of days now to try and get the oil out, and I'm afraid I won't be able to be completely successful in that unless I take this scale off. Okay, but that's just a very small point. Another point is it's very difficult to see, but I did get a couple of scratches on the blade itself. It came with a couple of scratches. So again, Böker, step up your quality control. Okay, it's not just this knife, it's many others. So you know, if you're going to make knives at very affordable prices, please make them consistent. Okay, and but apart from that, this is an excellent knife and very good value for money. Okay, thanks for watching. Please do comment, rate, subscribe. You know, share your experiences of this knife if you have it, or other Bökers. Okay, and once again, take care.